From the station working for you, this is breaking news from WRTV.
Good evening, I'm Nicole Griffin. That breaking news, a plan to put Metro Police in the hands of a state-appointed board. We are learning these details as the state legislature plans to begin looking at new bills tomorrow. The move comes as Metro Police faced a record level of homicides in 2020. Senator Jack Sandlin of Indianapolis and Scott Baldwin of Noblesville are behind Senate Bill 168. The two Republicans would require the 5-member board would be made up of the mayor and 4 people appointed by the governor to run IMPD. If the bill is approved by the legislature, the board would oversee Metro Police by January 1st of the year 2023.
In order for police to have good community relations, there has to be trust. And right now, I don't see any trust. And so took a look at some models in some other places and tried to figure out a way that we might be able to respond to some of the issues that are currently going on and help reinstill that trust.
WRTV did reach out to the mayor's office and Metro Police via email, and we are waiting for their responses. We'll have more of the discussion with Senator Sandlin tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana. And just in, we received this statement from the Indy Fraternal Order of Police, which in part reads, "We and our state FOP leaders continue to monitor this proposal while we wait further details on it, along with the myriad of other proposed legislation." Tomorrow morning, mothers of homicide victims are planning to gather downtown for a peaceful protest outside of the city county building. I talked to Chandler Bussey's mother. Bussey was killed in June. She is one of the moms who is planning the event because she says 245 homicides in 2020 does not sit well with mothers of victims. She is hoping those who have lost a child or loved one to a homicide will join her with signs and pictures. They want to send a message to remind the detectives, prosecutors, judges, attorneys, and city leaders who their loved ones are, while continuing to push for justice and answers in their cases. Ultimately, they are pushing for a stop to gun violence in order to make our city a safer place for all families. An IMPD sent the following statement to WRTV, saying in part, quote, "IMPD has overcome many challenges this year, most notably the nationwide spike in violence brought to bear on our community. Despite the increased workload, our detectives remain focused on solving each and every homicide. IMPD says it's committed to working with the community into 2021 to continue fighting on behalf of those who cannot speak for themselves." Tonight, some students, parents, and teachers here in Marion County are enjoying their last day of winter break after requiring districts to go to all virtual learning in November. The Marion County Public Health Department is allowing in-person learning to resume tomorrow. One of the districts heading back to the classroom tomorrow morning is Perry Township. Students in kindergarten through 5th grade will be back in the classroom Monday through Friday, and those who have been virtual throughout the semester can continue learning online. Students in 6th through 12th grade will return on a hybrid schedule. We talked to 2 Perry Township moms, one who is keeping her kids home for virtual learning and another who feels safe with her kids returning to the classroom.
It's just something that right now there's not a whole lot of things you can control, and this is something we can control. I mean, they're both very good students, so they can still learn from home. They miss the interaction, but their education isn't necessarily suffering.
If you can go out and about, like you can wear a mask, you can go to the mall, you can get on a plane to go to another state, then you can go to school 5 days a week is how we feel. E-learning is great for our 8-year-old, except for the social aspect. You know, for our middle schooler, you know, he has to have like the extra help. And I've even went out of my way to hire a private tutor that comes to our house. And sometimes I feel like that's not even enough.
The mother who we spoke with, who is sending her kids back to school, tells me she does have a routine for them when they get home each day. They take off their shoes outside, wash their hands, change their clothes, and throw their mask right in the laundry to get washed. Perry Township is reminding parents to be prepared if COVID-19 rates increase in the county. Back to school plans could be adjusted once again. Now to the latest COVID-19 numbers from the State Department of Health. Another 3,002 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. 56 more Hoosiers have died, bringing the total number of deaths to 8,111. Since March, more than 526,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19, and nearly 5.8 million tests have been administered in Indiana. Healthcare facilities nationwide are still dealing with the post-Thanksgiving surge, and now they are preparing for a post-Christmas and New Year's increase. The Trump administration has promised 20 million doses of the vaccine would be delivered before the end of 2020, but vaccination efforts have faced challenges. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moten with the details.
More than 350,000 Americans have lost their lives to COVID-19. The country seeing more than 20 million cases of the virus. President Trump taking to Twitter this morning, falsely claiming the numbers from the CDC are exaggerated.
The deaths are real deaths.
Dr. Anthony Fauci saying he did not anticipate the death toll in the U.S. will reach the level it has.
There's no running away from the numbers. It's something that we absolutely got to grasp and get our arms around and turn that inflection down by very intensive adherence to the public health measures.
The nation's top infectious disease expert blames indoor activity and holiday travel in part for facilitating recent transmission of the virus. It's expected 1.3 million people will be flying today, returning home from holiday destinations. Overburdened healthcare systems still dealing with post-Thanksgiving surge are concerned.
That's really why it's so frightening. We haven't seen Christmas numbers yet, and we haven't seen New Year's for sure.
4 states, California, Texas, Florida, and New York, all hitting 1 million COVID cases. Illinois on track to be the next as the number of cases continues to surge. The rollout of the vaccines has faced challenges. Nationwide, only about 4.2 million Americans have been vaccinated, falling short of the Trump administration's goal of 20 million by the end of 2020.
A lot of this is because public healthcare systems that are already taxed with contact tracing and managing this actual COVID-19 disease are also taxed with distributing this vaccine, and they need more help.
In Texas, Houston opening the city's first public vaccine event on Saturday.
I just want to get back to life. I just want to get back to normal. I want to see my kids. I want to go back to work.
The plan was to administer 750 shots. They got 250,000 calls. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Kenneth, thank you. A silver alert has been declared for a 90-year-old man missing from Bloomington. William Wright was last seen around 10:30 this morning wearing a dark blue coat and blue jeans and driving a white 2001 Ford F-250 truck with Indiana license plate D457HD. Wright is believed to be in extreme danger and may require medical assistance. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call 911 or the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Now to your forecast tonight, meteorologist Kyle Mounts joins me now. And Kyle, driving in, it's a little chilly out there, but the roads were dry, nice and easy commute into work.
Yeah, certainly on the chilly side. And Nicole, some of us waking up to a little bit of snow out there on the ground this morning. It was mainly north and west of the Indianapolis metro area. Monticello, though, picking up 3.5 inches of snow, about 3 inches in the West Lafayette area. And you got about 2.5 there in Covington, Kokomo a little over 2 inches, and Newmarket about 1.5 inches. So there's the system now bringing snow and quite a bit of it into Pennsylvania and New York, but you can see it was really north of I-70 across central Indiana earlier today. Those temperatures, they're hovering right above the freezing mark, 33 in Indy, 34 in West Lafayette. A little bit of a wind giving us those wind chills in the middle 20s right now. Feels like 26 in Indy and Columbus. This evening, the blanket of clouds holds those temperatures pretty steady in the lower 30s. We'll talk about a little bit of a warm up coming our way in just a bit.
All right, Kyle, thank you. The pandemic might be keeping people apart, but one Carmel family is working together right now to leave a legacy for generations to come. This trio started Generations Quilting Studio to make sure that the bond that ties their family together never dies, even during a pandemic. For their grandmother, Edith Leslie, as she waits to get the COVID-19 vaccine at her senior living facility, quilting is just one way she's getting through life with current restrictions.
I have to keep busy, and especially with the lockdown, I'd have lost my mind if I wouldn't have had something to do. And it's, I don't make great big quilts like I used to, but I do make quilts that are comfortable. They're well made. For charity, yes. Now, in 2020, I gave 55 quilts I made, and somebody's enjoying them, I hope.
I'm sure they are. Well, as Edith mentioned, during 2020, she made more than 50 quilts for charity. Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, we'll hear more from her and her daughters about the cause this group is dedicated to helping. As Congress reconvenes on Capitol Hill, there's evidence that President Trump tried to pressure an election official to throw out votes. The details coming up next here on the news at 6.
Only at Hardee's.
The 117th Congress convened today at noon. Democrats held on to a slim majority in the House in November. Control of the Senate will be determined by Tuesday's runoff election in Georgia. Here's ABC's Faith Abube with a look at what's ahead for this 117th Congress.
As the 117th Congress convened on Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called this a challenging time.
From political division to a deadly pandemic to adversaries around the world, the hurdles before us are many, and they are serious.
In the House, Democrats now have the narrowest majority of either party in 20 years, beginning the session with a 222 to 211 advantage. Nancy Pelosi, the only woman to ever serve as Speaker, was reelected to the post. Control of the Senate hinges on Tuesday's runoff elections in Georgia, with 2 seats up for grabs. One of the first orders of business for the new Congress will be certifying the election this coming Wednesday. President Trump is still pushing his baseless claims of a rigged election. ABC News has obtained audio, as first reported by the Washington Post, of a phone call in which the president can be heard trying to pressure Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to pursue the president's false claims about the election results.
I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Throughout the call, Raffensperger can be heard rejecting Trump's assertions, saying President-elect Joe Biden's victory in Georgia was fair and accurate. The White House declining to comment when asked by ABC News. Vice President Pence has signaled he supports an effort from about a dozen senators and 140 House Republicans to reject the will of the voters, saying he supports lawmakers who want, quote, to use the authority they have under the law to raise objections. The effort, led by Missouri Republican Josh Hawley and others, is seen as a last-ditch attempt to delay Joe Biden's victory. But the move has sparked infighting within the party. Senator Mitt Romney saying the move, quote, dangerously threatens our democratic republic. Pennsylvania Republican Senator Pat Toomey adding, quote, allegations of fraud by a losing campaign cannot justify overturning an election. But in a call with his caucus, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called the January 6th vote the most consequential of his life, but still telling senators to vote their conscience. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Faith, thank you. In Georgia, the father and son charged in the deadly shooting of an unarmed black jogger are asking that he not be called a victim. Gregory and Travis McMichael are accused of murdering Ahmaud Arbery last February. One motion requested that Arbery not be called a victim in the trial, arguing it would be prejudicial. Another motion asked the court to limit photos of Arbery to just one in the trial. Police say 25-year-old Arbery was jogging outside Brunswick, Georgia, when the McMichaels chased him in their vehicle before shooting and killing him. Travis McMichael is also accused of using a racial slur after the shooting. The deadly encounter was caught on camera, and both men have pleaded not guilty to a number of charges. New video shows 2 men base jumping from the rooftop of a Nashville bar New Year's Day. The incident caused people to panic because of the bombing that just happened just blocks away Christmas morning. The woman who took the video at Grand Hyatt Hotel's rooftop bar said the men brazenly walked through wearing parachutes. Staff yelled at them, but then they jumped. She said when they landed, they hopped onto a car and sped away. Police said no arrests have been made. They are brave, Kyle. I don't think I would ever be able to do that. Or crazy, yeah, that too.
I think
Look
crazy.
at them.
Poor Nashville's had a time this past year,
they really
haven't they? All right, well, as we check out the conditions here across central Indiana, some slick roads across north and northwestern communities as we get into tonight, but downtown Indianapolis should be just fine there. We've got a temperature of 33 with those cloudy skies. West breeze takes that feels like number, puts it in the middle 20s for us. It's 34 degrees right now in Columbus, 33 in Greencastle and Martinsville, and Richmond coming in just above the 30-degree mark there at 31. Temperature's not going to move a whole lot tonight because we will have that blanket of cloud cover out there and a little bit of a southwest wind. So look for lows in the middle to upper 20s to start off our Monday morning. TrueCast on Monday shows quite a bit of cloud cover. I think we may see some filtered sunshine as we go through the day here, just not a whole lot of it. And then as we get into the evening hours and overnight, this is midnight tomorrow night. You can see there's a weak little disturbance that's coming through. May generate a couple of snow showers, a couple of very light rain showers out there. I don't think it's going to be very impactful at all, not going to add up to anything, and it's already into Ohio by Tuesday morning. As far as that planning forecast for our Monday, with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures, they do come up just a little bit here, courtesy of that south wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we're only going to get to around the lower 40s for an afternoon high. That is above average for this time of year, though, so we will take it at 45 in the Bloomington area, 41 in Muncie, and 43 in Indy. May not get out of the 30s, though, tomorrow afternoon in Peru. Then as we look ahead to Tuesday, more clouds, a little more sunshine as we go into the afternoon, but behind that system that generates a few light rain or snow showers across the northern part of the state Monday night, that does bring in another shot of some chilly air here on Tuesday. We are only in the 30s. Extended forecast for you now, 43 tomorrow, 39 there on Tuesday. And as we get into Wednesday, more cloud cover around, but we're going to keep those temperatures at or above average for the next 7 days. Again, that average high is around 35. As we look toward next weekend, we'll see a little more sunshine coming our way and a seasonable chill in the air with those numbers in the 30s. Let's look just beyond the 7-day forecast, though, at those temperatures, expecting near to above average temperatures. The good news for us is that is January 11th through the 17th, which is typically our coldest time of the year. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on the news at 6.
No payments, no interest for 12 months.
Places that entertain, teach, and help us escape are disappearing in cities across the country. While the latest COVID-19 relief package includes $15 billion in relief for entertainment and cultural institutions, some in the industry tell Amanda Brandeis survival is still uncertain.
Improv excites me in so many different ways. When you walk into the doors, it feels just like an open hug.
Venice City Improv is a place with much more meaning than just making comedy.
It's a place that celebrates our differences.
They're memories that live in us for life, but without the space to experience that, what is there?
And with each day they sit empty, we risk losing them for good.
We were just starting to get where we could really sustain ourselves in the new space, and then it was just ripped out from under us. So financially, it's been an absolute disaster.
From Ohio to Colorado, New York, and Texas, improv theaters and music venues have closed their doors for good, leaving a hole in communities that may never be filled again.
It's very, very difficult to get a live entertainment venue established and off the ground. There's so many permit hurdles and financial hurdles.
The same goes for places that celebrate history and imagination.
Very few stories of a museum going out of business only to be revived later.
Laura Lott is with the American Alliance of Museums, which found 1 in 3 museums are at risk of closing permanently.
We as a society protect the things and the stories and the history that's important to us in museums, and they're irreplaceable.
She says while many believe museums are funded by the government, the bulk of their budget comes from the public.
We've seen a lot of creativity to raise money, so everything from virtual galas to zoos that are offering animal appearances on your next Zoom call.
You know, as people say, they love to say, well, pivot, what can you do? What can you do online? And we did a lot of that. That just never quite captures what we have in person, the classes that we have.
So much fun.
There's renewed hope for Finest City Improv after a crowdfunding effort and emergency relief from the Save Our Stages Act, included in the latest COVID-19 relief bill. Museums can also apply for funding, but it won't guarantee survival.
I expect it's going to be a pretty slow recovery, because many museums rely on tourism and how much they have become accustomed to accessing museums online.
If you have a live event venue that you love, that you've had an experience with, I guarantee right now, if they haven't closed down, they're fighting with everything they have to keep the place open.
While funding is a lifeline, people are the lifeblood of the industry.
It's not easily replaced.
I'm Amanda Brandeis reporting.
No payments, no interest for 12 months.
Not a whole lot of sunshine coming our way the next several days, but you can't really complain about these temperatures for the first full week of January, as we'll have those numbers in the middle 30s to lower 40s.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Go Colts. Have a great night.